Welcome to the Truth Factor, where we do headlines with an attitude, and we are traveling. So I'm praying that we don't lose connection, but we'll stay we'll stay live. But I want to try and get these articles out because it'll be late when we get in and trying to unload everything just ain't gonna work. So anyway, we're gonna try and get this done here. News flash again. The article is in the link in the description box. Hi guys, how are you? We are in the last days. Mama C and Watchmen. Good to see you guys. I do want to tell you, you can hit the home button on the Hal Turner to get the other articles. I didn't list every one of them, but they're all going to be from Hal Turner, okay? And there's quite a few, and I'm just kind of catching up because I have been out of the loop for a few days. How are you, Watchmen? So good to see you. I've been out of the loop and been in the mountains, haven't really even had a reception the last couple of days, so I haven't been able to do much. I first and foremost want to say happy birthday, happy belated birthday to Team Angel. She had a birthday yesterday, guys, and I just want to give a shout out to Team Angel. Happy birthday. I love you, sister. Anyway, so news flash again. This is a flash traffic. North Korea has agreed to send 300,000 to 500,000 troops to Russia to assist with its special military operation in Ukraine against NATO. The first deployment will be about 20,000 soldiers to assist with logistics. More as I get it. Update at 12, there was a video. I'm not going to play the video. Update at 1 p.m. It says North Korea will also deliver to Russia the new KN-09 multiple launch rocket system seen in the file in the photo below. Shown above as absolute latest North Korean version of the KN-09 with 2 pods of 6 rockets each. Intelligent assessment of these new rocket launchers is as follows. Judging by the published photo with military received the MLRS known under the Western designation the K909 or KNSS-X9, it's a caliber of a 300 millimeter. The first version with its 8 missile tubes was shown in 2015 at a parade in honor of the 70th anniversary of the Workers' Party of Korea. It is believed that missiles with a warhead weighing up to 190 kg are capable of hitting targets at a distance of at least 220 km. Guidance is inertial in preparation for use of calculation, use data from navigation satellites, which provides a fairly accurate hit. In 2020, an upgraded version was introduced in which the 3-axle all-terrain vehicle was replaced with a 4-axle platform with 12 tubes, which is the version shown in the image above. And I'm going to try and show you the image, guys.
That's fine.
They could be reducing, yeah.
Me
That
and my
could
FedEx
be
truck.
a very
I said me and my FedEx truck.
likely thing. Hold on, I'm not trying to show you her. There you go. She's mad right now, but she'll be okay. So that is the picture. Anyway, so I think it is rather interesting for them to be sending, for Kim to be sending almost a million, 500,000 soldiers. Why would somebody need 500,000 soldiers? Just thinking out loud, guys. That's a lot of manpower. What else is going to go on? I tell you, be in prayer. I think that's crazy. That's an instrument. I mean, just, oh my goodness. Just imagine 500,000 Poland over there. But there's 300,000, even 300,000 is,
Great.
The first deployment is only 20,000, which is, that's a low number, but that's still a lot of people.
Past the guy.
Sorry.
No, because you got cars banking up behind you. You got to get up here in front of him.
Or evacuate it out. I hear you. And America doesn't have bunkers for its people. Other countries have bunkers for their people,
Worried about
but
slowing
America
down. Keep
does not.
going. Speed up,
We're
Aiden.
not.
No, hush up and speed up. You got cars coming on. You hear?
We're not
All
like
right, there
that
you go.
here, unfortunately, I guess you could say. Let's see. I'm trying to go back. I have a couple more. Okay, guys. I'm debating on. I'm going to show you this article, guys. There we go. Is that not just crazy? Now, I will share this article in a Wixit when we get home. So be looking for a Wixit with all of the articles that I'm going to talk about. But I don't want to talk about that one. But we will have it, the link. But it's in Hal Turner, guys. All you got to do is get to Hal Turner. There's a link to the source for the CDC stuff. There's a link to it.
Low
I
traffic.
tell you, go check it out.
I said low traffic.
JP Morgan also is sounding an alarm for dark winters for banks. The Federal Reserve is in a hole for 100 billion, I guess, or billion, I don't know. Let's see, let's click on it. Talking about our monies. Don't be scared, right, AB? Get prepared. Absolutely. CEO sounds. How are you, AB? You feel the most of the job. People are. Yeah, absolutely, Watchman. Hi, Ryan. And you're prepared for almost anything. I hear you. Okay, so it says yesterday sparking an industry event organized at Barclays. CEO Jamie Dimon sounded the alarm on a slew of headwinds that will hit the U.S. economy hard in the next couple of months, and pointed to several risks that could delay heavy blows to consumers, investors, businesses, and banks. On Monday, he weighed in on how new regulation by the Fed will impact customers in the coming months. The changes will certainly not make them happy. Dimon explained how plans for new capital rules in the United States could damage the attractiveness of bank stocks and making banking costs go even higher for consumers. He urged that the Fed's Base 3 in-game reforms would make loans even more expensive and would force banks to reduce the amount of money they lend, which could drive banking activities into less regulated sectors. Dimon stressed that more lenders could run into problems, just like Silicon Valley did this spring. Any crisis that damages Americans' trust in their banks damages all banks, a fact that was not known even before the crisis, he wrote. Even when it is behind us, there will be repercussions from it years to come, he emphasized. Even when what is behind us? He doesn't say. It doesn't say. It just says even when it's behind us. Rather interesting. He also said it's a huge mistake to think that the U.S. economy will boom for years, given that there are so many risks out there. With interest rates still going up, conditions will become even more recessionary, and you are going to see more people out there with problems. You ain't got to tell us nothing, right, guys? And problems everywhere. It is for that reason that JP Morgan has just reiterated its bearish stance on the stock market, urging its clients to stay defensively positioned. Analysts at the firm also adjusted the bank's investment strategy in response to the rising commodity prices and the potential spike in inflation. JP Morgan strategist Marco Kalvanak also noted that the increased potential for bank turbulence and oil shock and slowing growth is poised to send stocks back towards their 2022 lows, as reported by Bloomberg. We still have 3 months to go before this year is done, and a lot more could happen in the financial markets. One of the biggest concerns right now is the real estate sector. Warren Buffett's investment partner and vice president of Berkshire Hathaway, Charlie Munger, recently observed that hundreds of banks are exposed to commercial real estate loans that are at risk of going into default. He thinks that it is trouble ahead for the U.S. commercial property market. A lot of real estate isn't so good anymore. Munger said, we have a lot of troubled office building, a lot of troubled shopping. Oh my goodness sakes. Hate that, guys. commercial. We have a lot of troubled office buildings and a lot of troubled shopping centers, a lot of troubled other properties. There's a lot of agony out there. There are very early chapters of this crisis, but when even the head of one of the biggest financial institutions on the planet is worried about growing risk, we should definitely brace for pain because much worse is yet to come. Although it may take a while for the dominoes to fall, we won't be able to avert a decline that is already in motion. The clock is ticking and the time is running out for the U.S. financial system. You hear that, right? Kind of crazy, guys. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Then we also have JP. No, hold on. Nebraska 4-mile evacuation ordered for rail car explosion. Guys, I'm sorry I missed all this. Like I said, I have been out. Couldn't get anything to load where we were at, which I guess, saved us some headaches, that's for sure. Didn't have a headache one while we were gone. That is a good thing, right? Anyway, a rail car has exploded and was burning in North Platte, Nebraska. Very unusual thing, it says. Evacuation for 4 miles in effect. The rail car, the U.S. Air Force deployed a WC-135 nuke sniffer plane to fly over the scene. This must have been a really big to-do thing, guys. That happened yesterday. While an evacuation zone around a burning rail car is not unusual, there are very many questions about why the U.S. Air Force sent a WC-135 nuke sniffer aircraft above the scene. The WC-135 in flight ID flew repeated circles over the rail yard at North Platte, Northeast today, as well as over the rail lines due to the west of the rail yard. I don't know.
Oh, come on now. You really have to think about that? They was hauling nuclear waste. What do you think? I guarantee you.
He said they were hauling nuclear waste. That's what the hubby says. I don't know. It says the word is already leaking out that the Union Pacific Rail Yard in North Platte is the world's largest rail yard. The word is also leaking out that more than 70% of the rail engines had safety defects, as did 20% of the rail cars. 3 days ago, the Federal Rail Administration stated publicly the nation's largest rail carrier failed to fix and continued to use faulty equipment. Huge, guys. Wow. And again, I was gone yesterday. We were having a beautiful time. So everybody needs a little R&R. Apparently, also yesterday, the federal judge ruled that DACA was unconstitutional for hundreds of thousands of deportations to begin. On Wednesday, the U.S. District Judge Andrew Hannon ruled that DACA, or the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals policy, violated the U.S. Constitution, which requires Congress to manage immigration affairs, not the White House. Former President Barack Obama infamously declared that the children of illegal immigrants, referred to as dreamers, would be protected from deportation through an executive order. While Judge Hannon did not call for an immediate end to the program while it works its way through the appeals process, he barred the Biden administration from processing any new applicants. While sympathetic to the predicament of DACA recipients and their families, the court has expressed its concerns about the legality of the program for some time. Hannon wrote the 40-page ruling. The solution for these deficiencies lies with legislature, not the executive or judicial branches. Congress, for any number of reasons, has decided not to pass DACA like legislation. The executive branch cannot usurp their power bestowed on Congress by the Constitution, even to fill a void. That's interesting, isn't it? That these executive orders that people just want to write off thinking it's law and you have to abide by it. This is kind of interesting that this judge is kind of frozen those types of things for this situation. Interesting. Can't usurp your power. Like, listen.
They need to start running that thing that they ran back when we was in school. They need to start running that the Capitol Hill cartoon in Conjunction Junction to educate people.
What's your function?
Yeah, in Capitol Hill.
Absolutely.
I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill.
A bill on Capitol Hill. Somebody needs to see that, don't they?
Yeah.
They might need to play it for a couple of people.
They need to play it for all the daggum politicians.
Right.
So they understand that you just can't make something and make it law.
Hey, Rip Curl, how are you, brother? Earlier, the first article I covered, I don't know if you were here for, about North Korea sending 300 to 500,000 troops to Russia, and they're starting with their first deployment of 20,000 soldiers. We have also
20,000 logistic soldiers.
20,000 logistic soldiers, yeah. Okay, so also yesterday, Bulgaria calls for NATO Article 4 consulations after Russia blocks Black Sea area for naval exercise. The country of Bulgaria has asked NATO for an Article 4 consultation after Russia blocked part of the Black Sea for naval exercises, including a section of Bulgaria's inclusive economic zone. Bulgaria's territorial sea extends out from its shores 12 nautical miles, including internal waters, covers approximately 6,358 kilometers. The contagious zone covers approximately 29.052 kilometers. The map below shows Bulgaria exclusive economic zone and how far it extends. Let's see if I can show you guys this. Let's see. Anyway, Hal's analysis, it says the timing of the Russian exercise is not baffling at all. It comes 3 days into a NATO naval exercise in Romania's territorial waters at the Danube River Delta, which is literally the actual border between Romania and Ukraine. To even the casual observer, Russia's move here seems to be a direct tit-for-tat response to NATO's exercise being held with Romania on the Ukrainian border. What makes this somewhat different in the involvement of Bulgaria's exclusive economic zone? Certainly, the Russians won't be fishing or drilling for oil and gas, so there's no economic aspect to the temporary closure for the Russian exercise. But the inclusion itself seems to many people to be deliberately provocative. Certainly, throughout the Russia-Ukraine conflict, NATO has been aggressively provocative. Now it seems Russia is becoming aggressively
Is that him hitting his brakes?
With both sides escalating the outcome of the current situation. Seems a very big war, bigger than any previous. If that commences, I truly fear we here inside the United States will
Mr.
be hit back.
FedEx had enough.
My fellow Americans have never experienced actual war on our soil. I have a feeling of dread that war is coming. I don't know. What do you all think? I think when you're getting 300,000 to 500,000 extra men, there is a lot of possibilities. The possibilities are endless. And then also...
That's way more than the Wagner Group.
Yeah, way more than a Wagner Group, obviously. And then we have Hal Turner also shared Taiwan goes on high alert after 68 Chinese fighters and bombers approached the island yesterday. So, and he didn't get anything more than that. And then Chairman of Joint of Staff, Chief General Mark Miley is retiring at the end of the month. I don't know if I really care. To be honest, I'm not a fan.
Nashville in 65 miles?
But it says
Is that
he's
say
retiring
Nashville
at
in
the end of this
65?
Yeah, I
month.
mean, whenever you can get a chance to pass, but there's so many cars behind you, you ain't going to now.
He's not a fan of him either, so
I take the next
we
exit?
share the same opinion,
No.
I guess.
You're still 60
He's
miles from
retiring at the end of
Nashville.
this month. Quite a number of Pentagon
know.
staff seems to think this has to do with the utter failure of the Ukraine situation. One Pentagon officer said rats are fleeing the sinking ship. In a signal as to how unscheduled this retirement actually seems, Miley told reporters he doesn't even know yet where he is going to live, quipping that he told his wife, "We can go to Dick's and get a tent. I'm good with that. We lived in a tent before." Wow, that's kind of crazy. on their retirement. And in many people's minds, Ukraine's losing to Russia is obvious catalyst for Miley's rather sudden departure. House says, I'm not a fan of Miley in any way after the November 2020 election when Miley penned a letter also signed by the rest of the Joint Chiefs telling members of the armed forces they would serve, Biden. Despite what I saw as a clear and obvious event, whatever we're going to call it, and he, how he talks about Biden into office, I thought Miley should have been gone right then and there instead of defending the actual vote, which reelected, Trump. Miley embraced the Biden, and anyway, made him sick to his stomach. So I'm not going to read anymore because his opinions seem to get people in trouble. Hey, Connie, how are you? You just got here. What is happening? Okay, so 300 to 500,000 troops Kim Jong-un is going to send to Putin to help Russia. He's the first being deployed out, I think, is 20,000 soldiers. I'll show you the headline real quick, and I'll just go over we'll just look at all the little headlines that we've covered so far, and we'll go from there, right, guys? I'm not going to reread these articles, but okay.
Gonna say if you could have got over before that truck hit.
There's the article, and this article is in the. This article is in the.
Once you get trapped behind one of these, you're stuck for a long time before you can get out.
300,000 to 500,000 North
Because all the
Korea
other traffic is getting
sends
over.
to Russia, and he's sitting 20,000 first. Then there's a lovely article. I will click on this one just because I want you to see the big. I didn't read this one, but it is a very good article with links to where he got the information. Come on.
I don't know why this guy keeps on hitting his brakes.
Then the Federal Reserve losing 758 million per day, now in the hole for 100 billion. It is 100 billion. We didn't read that one, but we did read JP Morgan CEO sounding an alarm for the dark winter for the banks, and then we read the article for Nebraska 4-mile evacuation order, raw car explosion. We covered some of yesterday's headlines.
Not one that I'm comfortable with.
That I missed. You might not have missed them, but I missed them. Then the federal judge ruled on DACA unconstitutional, and then Bulgaria is calling for NATO Article 4 for consultation after Russia blocked the Black Sea. Anyway, and then again, I'm sure everybody knows Renee's late to the party. Taiwan goes on high alert after 68 Chinese fighter bombers. And then Miley is retired.
And then he got a gap now.
Suddenly, apparently,
what's
he's
back
talking
there, the white
about
car?
going and getting a tent and staying.
That's way back there, ain't
In a
it?
tent.
No, it's
But it
right
won't be the
there.
first time he's had to stay in a tent.
And then the other one's zooming up now.
I would say so, Rick Curl. But, I mean, why would he say he's going to go get a tent? That's kind of drastic, don't you think? Or maybe that's telling.
That was just him being sarcastic.
Maybe y'all might need to go get you a tent. I don't know. We have a tent. We have quite a few.
We just came back from camp.
And it is crazy. Anyway, I love y'all. And that is what I have for you today.
The rest area up here.
If I get a chance
the
to
next
do a
turn?
video whenever we make it home, I will. But we are traveling.
Thank goodness, because this traffic's kind of
Anyway, I love
making me a
y'all.
little nervous.
And see you later.
Yeah, it's going to get real worse as soon as we get closer to Nashville.
I
So I
know.
said, I figured just go ahead and let you get into this rest area. Okay.
This man is in love with his brakes.
Bye, guys.
I know, this damn trucker is really aggravating. Because there's no reason for him